So I'm just gonna show my record collection. I think I have about uh, 25 or 30. Um, I'm just gonna go through them and talk a little bit about some of the records I know a bit more about. Um, it kind of goes uh, newest to oldest, roughly, as in when I bought them, not in when they came out. So first is um, this is Breakaway by Art Garfunkel. Um, I really like the cover art on this one. It's very cool, interesting filter. Um, I bought this because I don't know too many Art Garfunkel songs. I know I have more Simon and Simon and Garfunkel, as you'll see, but um, I know a few Garfunkel songs. Firstly, Waters of March, his cover of Waters of March, I really like. Why is there hair? One single hair. Interesting. Um, which is on this album, so that's why I bought it. But as soon as I saw Waters of March, I read the rest of the track list, and it also has My Little Town on it, which is a great, great song. Um, this is a song, My Little Town is kind of the song that was released um, as like the mini Simon and Garfunkel reunion because I think they tried to get together around this time. I think this is 1975. Yeah, they tried to get back together, I think, or something like that. And then this song, My Little Town, came out, which was released on this album for Art, and it was on Still Crazy by Paul. It was on both albums, and I love that song so much. It's probably one of my favorite Paul Simon written songs. So I bought it, even though it's on Art's album. But I was starting to listen to it, and I love a lot of the other songs. Just I know he didn't write them, so I'm not even that much into his voice, really. I think just the choices of the songs that they chose to put on this album, because they're written by a bunch of people, um, and just I love them. Like Disney Girls and Breakaway, the title track, I just really like. I guess Breakaway was written for this, but uh, I think I guess probably a lot of them were written for this, but they're not written by Art. Is my point. So yeah, I like this one. This is Venus and Mars by Wings. Um, I think this is probably my favorite Wings album. I think I like it better than Band on the Run. Just feels a little bit more cohesive to me. Um, just my opinion. Um, um, this album has a lot of great songs on it. I guess none of them were really hits. It's to me, it's more of like a whole concept album. Even though, although the concepts or the lyrical concepts are not really that similar. Like there's some, you know, we got Rock Show, and then there's Magneto and Titanium Man, and there's Spirits of Ancient Egypt. The 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 lyrical themes are um, kind of all over the place, but um, I don't know. Yeah, for some reason it feels more cohesive to me. Um, Treat Her Gently is a great, great song. The last song on here that I started listening to a lot recently. Um, Also, You Gave Me the Answer. I just love that um, 40s and 50s like music hall sound, and this song was written. You Gave Me the Answer was written in that style because it was kind of inspired by the songs that Paul and his dad, I think, would play on the piano when he was growing up. Um, yeah, just a lot of great songs on here. Next is another Wings album. This is London Town. Um, I really love the title track a lot. It's one of my favorite Wings songs. I just think it's so quaint and nice and encapsulated and succinct. Um, I don't know too many of the other songs by heart. I really like I'm Carrying and Cafe on the Left Bank, so that's the 1, 2, and 3 on the first side. Um, but I don't think I know too much about the other songs. I haven't listened to it through much. I was just really obsessed with the title track for a while. Really good cover, although that's not the best picture of Denny. Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. Um, this is a very, to me, very sonically cohesive album. A lot of great songs on here, but I think the best to me, still got the tag, the price. I think my favorite is probably Bleecker Street. I think a lot of people would say that. Um, but even like the last song is Wednesday morning, 3 a.m., and it's, um, I believe it's Silent Night, if I'm remembering correctly. I think it's Silent Night, but with overlaid news, like newscaster dialogue. Um, and they're talking about, let me see, I think they're talking about like the Cold War, from what I can remember. Some happenings in the Cold War, and it's really cool. Um, Last night I had the strangest dream is also really good as well, and he was my brother. Yeah, and I guess the Sounds of Silence is on here, but eh, I'm kind of bored of that song. Um, this is Herman's Hermits. Um, Herman's Hermits was a is maybe, do they still exist? Um, they were a like British invasion pop band, fronted by this guy whose name is Peter Noon, also known as Herman. And I heard one song by them that's not on here. I heard My Sentimental Friend a long time ago, probably like 5 years ago. And so when I was looking through used records, I found this. I bought it because I know Herman's Hermits and I liked their sound in that one song. And I listened to some of the other songs, and I really liked them as well. No Milk Today was one of their big hits, which is on here. I actually don't know if this is a retrospective or like not a like a compilation or an actual album. I think it's probably some sort of compilation or something. But some of the songs, like Little Miss Sorrow, Child of Tomorrow, and Gaslight Street, can't even find them on Spotify. They're only on like YouTube, and they have like 10,000 views. So it's kind of cool to have the physical version of a piece of art that you can't even find on Spotify. That's kind of cool. Yeah, cool album. This is um, a Frank Sinatra album that record I bought because it has Send in the Clowns on it, which I think was written by. I wonder if there's something that will tell me. No, there is no insert. Oh wait, no, this is not an explanation. This is no. There's no. I think it's written by Stephen Sondheim. Um, It says From a Little Night Music here, so I guess that's the name of the musical. And I really like that song, and that's why I bought it. I don't actually know any of the other songs that are on here. I don't think. It looks like a lot of them are from musicals, but the only one I know is Send in the Clowns. And I have heard his version of Send in the Clowns on Spotify. I don't know if this is the same recording as that. I don't think I've actually. Actually, I have listened to it, but I don't remember. This is the Platters. I don't know much about them really, other than they went through a bunch of names like the Flying Platters and stuff like that. I don't actually know any of the songs either on her by heart, but I do like the Platters. Let me see if I can see what songs I know by them. Um, me, the Platters. I guess Only You is on here, and that's their most listened to song, according to Spotify. Um, I don't know. I don't know where I know them from, really. The Platters. Maybe they were cited as an influence by somebody that I read about or something. Yeah. So this is the Monkees' self-titled album. This is the one um, that has the theme song from the TV show on it. Uh, it also has the name of the person that owned the record on it, which is Karen. I think it's pronounced maybe Panovic or Panowick, Panovic. Um, so that's cool. They also wrote it on the record, which I don't mind. I think that's cool. You know, people used to do that. Um, so it has the theme song on it, and it has Last Train to Clarksville, which is I think their most popular song, at least according to Spotify. Um, Something I think that's funny is that on the back they have this Meet the Monkees thing, and it says their characteristics. And what's funny is it says their heights, their hair, and their eye color. All four of them have brown hair and brown eyes. So it's just the same thing for everyone. And also, David Jones is 5'3", and the rest of them are like at least 5'11", so that's interesting. Um, but you know, David Jones, he could. Paul Simon was like 5'3" too, so you know, I guess your size is more concentrated. You can musical genius, you know, less diluted. Yeah. This is the first of a few Chet Atkins records that I bought because I like Chet Atkins. I like a lot of stuff he's done. Um, the instrumental finger picking stuff. I liked his duet with Dolly Parton. You know, "Do I Ever Cross Your Mind?" Um, so this is apparently an album that he did to kind of market to youth dances, I guess, like to play at a youth dance, which I find interesting because it's like instrumental guitar music mostly. Don't really Didn't really expect that to be a big hit with youth dances of the 1950s, 1960s. Yep, this is from 1960. But I guess I don't know. On this album is a few songs that I really love. First is "Come Softly to Me," which I think the one that I know the best, I think, is the Fleetwood's version. Let me check. Which, yeah, the Fleetwoods. I love that song. Also, there's Till There Was You, which is from The Music Man, the musical. Um, and of course, the Beatles covered it as well on, I don't even know, one of their early albums. And there's also Sleepwalk, which was uh, originally by Santo and Johnny. Um, and it's that beautiful steel guitar song that you might know. It's a pretty famous song, even if you don't know the name, because it's just instrumental. Um, there's also Night Train on here. I feel like Night Train. I feel like I know Night Train from something else, from a different album, different artist. Anyway, more Chet Atkins. Next, this one has Foggy Mountain Top and Make the World Go Away. Really love Make the World Go to, like, amazing. Really one of my favorite songs of this kind of era. Um, uh, yeah. So this is Herb Alpert's Tijuana Brass, which you might know from the song Ladyfingers, which is pretty famous song, even if you don't know the name. But also another famous song they did, which is on this album, which I discovered while listening to it, is the song called Spanish Flea. Now, Spanish Flea is that song that's used in a lot of cartoons. I'm not going to sing it here, but you can Google it. And it's used in like The Simpsons, I think, and Fairly Odd Parents and stuff like that. So I was just blown away when I put in this album that I bought just because it's Herb Alpert and the cover is so pretty. And there's this hilarious song that I associate with like ridiculousness, and everybody knows this song too. So it's just hilarious. Next is Glenn Campbell. Um, this is I don't know any of the songs on here. I bought it because I really like Glenn Campbell. I like Southern Nights. Um, I think there's what other songs do I know that he did? Oh, Wichita Lineman, of course, Wichita Lineman, and Gentle on My Mind. Um, so I bought it, and it's good. I can't really remember highlights or anything. It's just I just like this kind of instrumentation, this kind of music. The the sound that they created on here. This next song is called, well, not song. This next album is called He Touched Me. It's by the Gospel Messengers Quartet, as you can see. And I bought this because I think the cover is really, really pretty. And I wanted to put it on my wall, which I'll do at some point. Um, yeah, so I haven't listened to this. Maybe I never will, although I do like some gospel music, like when Elvis had that gospel era. I like that album. What's it called? Is it called In the Garden? I think it's maybe called that. Yeah, I don't know any of these songs. None. Here's more Chet Atkins. This one is called Caribbean Guitar. It's another very cool cover. I just love the colors on it. Um, don't know any of these songs. They're apparently Latin favorites, according to the back. Uh, I just like I like the to have the instrumental Chet Atkins kind of guitar thing going on in the background sometimes. It's pretty fun. maybe I should do this. More Herb Alpert. This is called The Brass Are Coming. I just bought it because I like Herb Alpert, and the cover was so cool. The only song I know on here is Moon River, which was, of course, in what was that movie called? Was it Breakfast at Tiffany's? I think that's what it was called. Sung by, I believe, Audrey Hepburn in the movie, not in that record. This is Boxcar Willie, who apparently was a country blues singer. And there's a couple songs in here that I really like. Actually, two or three of them are Hank Williams songs, or songs that I believe were popularized by Hank Williams, although I don't know if he wrote them, like Hey Good Lookin' and Move It On Over. And I think Your Cheatin' Heart is also Hank Williams, but I'm not sure. And lastly, there's also King of the Road on here, which I really love. I really love that song, which it was written by Roger Miller. He has a lot of good songs. What's that song? Little Green Apples. Little Green Apples. Also, I believe I think he also wrote Not in Nottingham. I love those songs as well. Those are the only songs I know here. There's also a song that's called Peace in the Valley. I feel like I might know that, but I can't remember. This is There Goes Rhyme and Simon. I think this came out maybe 1973. I think this was Paul's second solo album, I think, after the first one, which was self-titled, I believe. I think my favorite song on here, one of my favorite Paul Simon songs of all time, is Take Me to the Mardi Gras, which is written here under the Mardi Gras beads and whatever this mask is. And you can see on the cover every song, American Tune, Kodachrome, every song is associated with an item, which I think is very cool. Yeah, so Take Me to the Mardi Gras, really, really love that song. I love singing that song. Another thing is, Something So Right is the finished version of a song that I actually like the previous unreleased version of, called Let Me Live in Your City. It was on, I think it's on like the deluxe version of this or something like that. There's the like in progress one of Something So Right, which was at the time called Let Me Live in Your City, and I actually really like that one better. So, yeah. This is One Trick Pony. I think this was a movie, or yeah, it was a movie, 1980. Which means that he must have been like 40 at this time, but he doesn't really look 40. On this, there's Late in the Evening, Ace in the Hole. That's Why God Made the Movies. And my favorite song on here is actually How the Heart Approaches What It Yearns. Now, Paul Simon fans might know that he did a new version of that song in his newest or second newest album, which was called In the Blue Light. And it was basically like a reimagining of some of his older songs. Let me look up what other songs did he do in The Blue Light. He did One Man's Ceiling is Another Man's Floor, Pigs, Sheep, and Wolves, Renee and Georgette McGreet. I love that one. But one of them as well was How the Heart Approaches What It Yearns, which makes sense because if you're a big fan, you would know that the first opening words of How the Heart Approaches What It Yearns are In the Blue Light. Really love both versions of that song, but I think I actually like the newer one better. This is Dino Martin. I think the only song I know on here is King of the Road. Oh, it's falling apart. That's not good. I didn't know that was the case. Hmm. Well, anyway, just another album to put on. I want some background music, some crooning in the background. Dean Martin. Another one of those is, well, a little bit similar, not too similar, would be the Ink Spots. This is the only Ink Spots album I've ever come across, so I had to buy it, although I don't think I know any of the songs on here. And additionally, it doesn't sound too great. It's pretty messed up. Doesn't really look like it, but it's pretty crackly and stuff, which you might like the sound of that, but it's too crackly for what I like. Broadway, Frank Sinatra. Not a big musical fan. I just bought it because it's Frank Sinatra, and I don't think I know any of the songs on here. I do not. But it's Frank, so I bought it. Ooh, heavy hitter. This is Ram. This is Paul's second solo album after McCartney. I believe it was kind of not really well received when it came out, but over time, people, everybody loves this album now. Just look at this. Just the cover is so cool, and then the back too, and then also the inserts. It's just so cool. I think my favorite songs on here would be Heart of the Country, and a lot of the deluxe songs too I actually like more than some of the regular ones, like Another Day and A Love for You and Hey Diddle. I really like those ones. Just look at this. It's so cool. Yeah. So that's Ram. This is not mine. This is Porter Robinson. My friend left this at my place years ago, and he has never picked it up. Oh man, this is going to expose me. This is Neutral Milk Hotels in the Airplane Over the Sea. Please vote on whether this is a drum or a potato, please. This is cool little gramophone plane that Jeff likes to draw on the record. This is from 1998, 97, I think. It's like however I describe it will be unhelpful, and if you know it, it doesn't need describing. If you don't know it, listen to it and be surprised. This is Pop. It's a punk band, pop punk or punk, however you want to describe them. I think they're sufficiently punk, you know, more punky than like I don't know, All American Rejects or something. This is Morbid Stuff. This is their third album, which came out in 2019. A lot of great songs in here. I think my favorite is probably Scorpion Hill. I like the clean sections on Scorpion Hill a lot. But you know, every song is good. Every song gets a little bit rough near the, not rough, but like a little bit more, kind of loses a bit of life near the end, like Bare Hands and City though. This is Revolver. This is from 1966, I think, and this is to many people the best Beatles album. I think my favorite song on here would be probably For No One. I've always really, really loved that song. One of my favorites. And probably Here, There, and Everywhere as well. Yeah. It's also got Eleanor Rigby and Taxman, and you know, it's got Yellow Submarine on it as well. That's Revolver. Cover designed by Klaus Voormann. This is Ultimate Sinatra, which is a collection from 2015. Two discs, oh my gosh, two vinyl records. A lot of great, like this is the best of the best of Frank Sinatra. It has everything that people would know, you know, New York, Witchcraft, Got You Under My Skin, Come Fly With Me, Fly Me to the Moon, The Way You Look Tonight, That's Life, Strangers in the Night. I think that's like the pantheon, those songs of like Frank Sinatra songs that everybody knows. Oh, and of My Way, of course, My Way. But then it has some deeper cuts on here that I really love, like for example Nancy. I forgot to mention in the Wee Small Hours in my previous list. You know, Nancy and Summer Wind, which are some of my favorites. Probably Summer Wind is my favorite Frank Sinatra song. This next one is a Paul Simon compilation called Paul Simon Etc. It has some from Still Crazy. It has such as Still Crazy. It has some from his self-titled, like I think Duncan was on his self-titled. It has from Ryman Simon, like Something So Right. I think it's just from those three albums, and then of course like Slip Sliding Away and Stranded in a Limousine, which were singles. So I guess this must have been after Still Crazy, and before whatever came after that. I can't remember. Maybe One Trick Pony or something. Here's another Frank Sinatra album. It's called Reflections. Goodnight Irene is on here, and All the Things You Are, and I think those are the only songs that I know very well on here. This is my only record of the smaller size. I forget what it is. Like, I don't even remember. What's it gonna say on here? Hmm. This is "I'll See You in My Dreams" is the title. It's by Doris Day. I really love the song "I'll See You in My Dreams." One of my favorite songs. I really, really love the version that Joe Brown sang at the concert for George in like 2002, 2003. That's I love that version so much. Um, and so I got this because I knew this version as well. I bought this at somebody's basement sale, and it turns out that it barely works. It sounds terrible. Um, Another interesting thing is uh, this person has colored in, the person that owned it has colored in all the O's, which I find quite charming. Um, yeah, I was quite sad that this one sounds terrible. Like this is the only one, honestly, I would probably never play for anybody, because it's not good. This next one, I don't even remember where or when I bought this or how. It's very obscure, so it's not just like, oh, I forgot I had that Eagles record or something like that, because everybody has that. I have no idea where I got this. This is Emmett Rhodes. Love Emmett Rhodes. This is a compilation, I think, or maybe his debut. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know much about his albums. I know all the songs, but I don't know how they're organized into albums because on Spotify there is only the like compilation album, which is really long, but it has a ton of albums, ton of songs. So I don't really know how they're organized. So I don't actually know what this is, but it has great songs. I think my favorite song by him. Oh man, my favorite song on here would probably be "Promises I've Made." Let me see if there's any other great songs by him I can mention. So Emmett Rhodes was, um, oh, "Somebody Made for Me." Maybe that has to be my favorite. That's a great song. Or "With My Face on the Floor." But yeah, he has a ton of songs that are really good. So the deal with Emmett Rhodes is that uh, he was an amazing, amazing songwriter, hailed as like the second coming of Paul McCartney, especially because he kind of sounds like him. And on songs like "Lullaby," which is on here, he really sounds like Paul. Um, and he kind of writes like him too. I think he definitely does, heavily influenced, and he kind of looks like him. So he was, I believe he was just one of those classic tales of being screwed by the industry, because you know um, record companies had a lot of power, still do now, but well, much less because you can kind of make your own way with social media and stuff like that, and then you can use uh, the accessibility of tools for making music, not just instruments, but like Pro Tools and stuff. So very very sad story. He actually made an album a few years ago called "Rainbow Ends," uh, which was also pretty good. Um, but he kind of became a bit of a hermit kind of guy between those times, between this era and a couple years ago. So sad. Dean Martin, a lot of great songs in here. "You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You." Uh, Also, My Heart is an Open Book. Send Me the Pillow You Dream On. Just great songs to have on in the background. I just imagine, when I listen to this, I just imagine like a big family Christmas party. And although sure, you could play the Christmas songs, but even without the Christmas songs, just this voice and this kind of, um, the kind of ethos that, is that the right word? I don't know. The ethos that these, let me use it anyway. The ethos that this album puts out is just very warm and like, you're hanging out with a big Italian family, like Dean Martin's. I'll Be Seeing You is also on here too. Have a Heart. Oh, they're so good. Twin Peaks. This is not the TV show. This is Sweet 17 Singles. Really, really love this band. They're kind of on hiatus or something right now. I wish they weren't. Um, Kind of indie rock. Just very good. Really love them. I saw them live with Pup actually. Favorite song on here would probably be. I think "Shake Your Lonely" is probably my favorite, but I've been a little bit bored of it, and I like "On the Line" and "Come For Me." Um, so Coop is also so good too. Yeah, just great songwriters. I think this is my brother's. I think this is not actually mine. This is Magical Mystery Tour. Um, Usually cited as the Beatles' weakest album. Either this or one of the earlier ones that has less of their own creative output. Um, but it has Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields. Um, there's a lot of really good songs on here too. Fool on the Hill. I really like that. It appeals to me. Um, and those cute little songs like Your Mother Should Know, Baby You're a Rich Man. Very very Paul songs if I remember correctly. Although I might be wrong. Maybe one of them is John. Flying, also, I think probably the only Beatles song where none of them sing. It's completely instrumental. Also, the only Beatles song that's credited to all four of them for songwriting. Here we have Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Um, Not much to say about this because, everybody, lots has been said already. Amazing album. Has probably my favorite Beatles song ever, which is A Day in the Life. But there's also a lot of really good songs here other than that, like She's Leaving Home, or let's see, what else is there? With a little help from my friends. And of course, one of my favorite songs. I already said that about A Day in the Life, but When I'm 64. Amazing song. I feel like I'm just totally just talking about all of these little cute little Paul songs that he writes, but I really like them. I like them a lot. He wrote that when he was 16. This is the compilation, the first of the two compilation albums by the Beatles. Well, I guess Past Masters is also a compilation, but this is the Red album in contrast to the Blue album, which is 67 to 70, I think. This is 62 to 66. Let me see. What's my favorite song out of all of these? There's many, many choices. In My Life is on here. That's probably my favorite. Norwegian Wood is also way up there. Um, All My Loving, also really love that one. Yeah, so that is the Red Album. Um, those are all my records. Um, I hope you enjoyed the facts and the ramblings. Um, so I think I'm done here for now, and see you soon.